This video is a guide to using the Divison 2 builder I made. First of all, disclaimer. This is just a tool to see what the numbers and stats will be with various gear pieces, so you can plan out or min-max builds easier. Builds achieving higher numbers on this sheet is not always better than those with lower numbers. There are many things that can be easily compared using numbers, like accuracy and stability, which does heavily impact a build's effectiveness in an actual mission. Also, this is my first time using Google Sheets, so many things may be inefficient or bugged. This is pretty much a passion project while I learn the code and stuff. If you would like to educate me on anything, feel free to do so. Lastly, thanks to GlacianNext on Reddit for allowing me to use this sheet as a template. Now to get into how to actually use this sheet. First of all, you have to make a copy of this sheet before you can use it. Otherwise, you won't have the access to drop-down list and modifying the cells. So to make a copy, you simply go to File, make a copy, and here you can choose which photo you want to make it. Now, in my sheet, all drop-down lists and cells highlighted with black on the character sheet. This sheet, character sheet, can be modified. And see the final result in the final stats sheet, which is this sheet. So for the character sheet, I pretty much made it similar to what it actually looks like in game. So 3 weapons choices and 6 gear pieces like this. But to calculate things, we can only have 1 active weapon at a time. So be sure that you choose which weapon you are using. And down here you can choose your specialization and skills. As I said, the black cells can be modified, so you can just simply type any number you want. And currently I haven't implemented any max stats in there, so you might have to look it up for yourself. But in the future I might do so. And here the drop down list, you can choose from most things. I think I pretty much put all the things in here, but maybe I missed them, so if you find anything, just tell me. And the talent you can choose as well. And down here, the watch stats. So first of all, your watch level. This pretty much only impacts the health, the base health you have, but it really isn't that important. And down here, you can choose to modify it to like your actual watch level, and the current setting is if you have maxed out watch. And here are the optional modifiers. Headshot chance, just typing whatever you think you can achieve, and don't be too generous. And base armor, most of the time it's going to be what's this, 660,000 if you have level 40 gear, but maybe you aren't using level 40 gear, so it may vary a little bit. And target range is to set how far the target is to. It mainly is for stuff it's mainly for calculating stuff like ranger. I think like talent is called ranger. That like the longer, the farther you are away from the target, the more damage you do. Next, overcharge. You can take this if you are currently overcharged, and just don't take it if you are not. And damage to armor and damage to health, you can choose which one is active, and obviously don't choose both at the same time. So you can like pretty much there's always one active, right? So just choose which one you liked, or like which one you are trying to see. And damage to target out cover, you can choose that as well. Killed recently basically means like if you trigger your on kill effects. So if you don't take this many talents that says on kill will not be calculated. And here, the technician, you can choose from skill damage or repair skill because the specialization allows you to choose from one of these. And not moving. This is all pretty much for the Solace knee pad. So if you take not moving, you'll get 30% total weapon damage, and if you don't, you get 0%. And these are pretty much the choices you can make now. You can also choose weapons. You have to choose the type first and choose the weapons. And here are the mods you can use and talent. Also the third attribute you can choose here. And these are pretty much what you can actually do. Now to move on to the final stats. This is the stats I'm showing currently, and these are basically just calculating a bunch of things according to what you chose in your character sheet. So you have basic offensive stats here. This pretty much is the same as the in-game, but I also show stuff like total weapon damage or amplified damage. And these are advanced stats, which I mean by these are stats like uses these stats to calculate. So average hit is basically a long formula and calculating how much you hit on average. So this number here is not pretty much never shows up actually in your game, but it is the number that you're hitting on average. Maximum hit, and that should be pretty self-explanatory, and minimal hit. Basically, maximum hit is your headshotting and your critting, and minimum hit is neither of those. And average damage per mag is just average hit times the mag size. So you can see that how much damage you do before you need to reload. And burst DPS is for basically if you don't reload, how much DPS are you doing? And sustained DPS is for when the target has a lot of health, so you need to reload. And factoring the reload time, this is the DPS it actually has. And here are the defense stats. I don't think I need to explain much about here. And skill stats. These are all the stats that affect skills, and here are the skill 1 and skill 2 stats here. And lastly, I put some random stuff here. So I have the amplified damage here because if a weapon amplified damage means the amplified damage only affects weapons, and skill amplified damage only applies to skill. And like right now it says 100%, but that actually means like no amplified damage. But here you can see amplified damage, which means it affects everything, including weapon damage and skills. But also stuff like maybe your grenade or any damage you do, actually you can do. So like glass cannon, for example. So this number is basically it is a multiplicative number to the stats, the hit damage your ability does. So it's always larger than 100%. And here are some grenade stats. These are the grenades that actually do damage. And here I put pestilent damage over time. So I'm currently like equipping pestilence. So if I equip pestilence here, pestilence, and choose. I don't remember what pestilence has. It was play go to outcast and remember to change the sometimes it updates really slowly. I don't really know why, but I can't figure out why it just does this. So you might have to wait for it a bit when it doesn't update. Like here, it's not updating. I don't. But anyways, it changes. I am currently equipping pestilence, so this is the damage over time I'm doing. So basically, if you stack it up to max, this is the number you will see in game. Like only a little bit, maybe a little bit inaccurate, like maybe 10 or 100 away. And here is the Vile Mask damage over time stat. So the tick you see in your in game. And lastly, on the to-do list, I have listed out some stuff that I haven't added or I haven't tested. So here, the in-game test. These are the things that I need to test in-game, and if you would like, you can help me with it. Stuff like you can see like Regulus mod name and Lullaby mod name, because I don't have those guns, so I don't really know what they're called. And these are like the features or stuff that I want to add, but I haven't added mostly because I don't know how, but I'm trying to learn. And stuff with it is like work in progress. So more optional modifiers. You guys can suggest what you want. Otherwise, I'll just add stuff when I think I need some modifiers. Also translation, be able to translate it more easily. And skill mods. So currently these skill mods, even though you can choose it, but you can actually put values in it, so it's not actually calculating the skill mods. So, also attribute color coding, like stuff like this, and as you can see, damage to target outcome should be red, but it isn't. So I haven't finished it. And lastly, easy ways to save and compare multiple builds. So currently, you can't really like quote unquote save a build. If you want to save one, you have to make a copy of it, as I said. So you can change the name of that build. So maybe like a Vile Mask build. And you can save it, and you can edit the original file. So so that's probably the easiest way to do it now, and I'll try to figure out some ways to make it much more easier. Now to the stuff that I need you guys to help me for, if you are interested, of course. First of all, there are many talents that I don't know how to calculate, or it's just really difficult to do. So if you guys have like a easy solution, you can tell me. That would be great. You can leave it in the comments. For example, like measured. Here, the top half of the magazine has 20% rate of fire and minus 30 weapon damage, but the bottom half of the magazine has minus 20% rate of fire and 30% total weapon damage. You have to calculate it based on what part of the mag it is. Probably have to do it with the average damage per mag and also the DPS here, so we can actually see how much it impacts the damage. There are many skills that have weird calculations. The skill tier bonus and the bonus on your gear and from skill mods, sometimes it is multiplicative and sometimes it is additive, and it really needs a lot of testing. For example, shield health. The skill tier bonus that gives you shield health, right? And there are also mods that give you shield health and gear, like the 3-piece bulwark. All of those give shield health, and they are additive to each other. But there is also a stat that is skill health. So skill health, I think it only comes from the Elf Summit named gloves, and they give 10% skill health. It is actually multiplicative. So even though it says 10%, it might give you way more than like 50% shield health. A lot of skills also get affected by damage to armor or damage to health or damage to target auto cover, but it's extremely inconsistent. So yeah, there will be very much testing to do. So if you can help me, that would be great. I will probably be making more videos in the future, mostly build videos using this tool, so I can showcase builds better. And so if you're interested, look forward to that. And anyways, thanks for watching.